It's here.
Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing and testing of this guy right here. This is a new trail cam that I picked up so that I can take it with me on my adventures, but also so I can use it around my base camp for a few things. I have a really interesting story to tell you guys before we unbox this though, as to why I thought this would be helpful. It kind of comes from a place of, oh my gosh, fear that happened last year. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know what my van looks like. It looks like this. As you can see, I have no rear windows whatsoever, which is really nice for like temperature control and things like that. However, if something pops off in the night, it is kind of weird because you hear sounds, but you can't really just like look around because you can't crack a window and see. And so I've been looking for a while for a way to kind of see in those instances, from button cameras to other kinds of things. And I've kind of got some different ideas circulating in my head. Well, this all kind of came full circle for me last year whenever I was camping. I was in Leadville, and I don't know if you guys remember the episode, but I was in Leadville camping, just enjoying myself, and then all of a sudden I heard a on my van, and I was like, whoa, it moved my van. And I was already in my lay down position for the night and kind of was like, okay, what was that? I immediately like text Riley, hey safety buddy, screenshot where I am. I don't know what just happened, but something just physically moved my van. And she was like, okay, that's not menacing at all. I then proceeded to honk my horn to let people know, hey, I am aware if it was a person or if it was an animal, maybe to scare them off just a little bit. And I didn't hear anything else. So I went to the front, I cracked the window, I didn't see anything. But that really got me to thinking, okay, I don't know what's creeping around outside my van sometimes. And for safety, that is a big deal. I've also seen a few people who have talked about that people have come up physically to their vehicle while they're camping in remote spaces to mess with their rear hitch box and try to steal stuff or steal an e-bike off of the back of their vehicle. And so I was like, okay, all of those things are things that are valid. I should probably know if it's happening near my van. So I got this guy. We're gonna try this out. This was the least expensive of the options that I could go with. And so I'm gonna see if this helps me out. If not, I'll be exploring one of those other safety methods in upcoming videos. But today I'm going to unbox this. We're gonna see how to get it started. And then tonight I'm gonna do a little taste test, so to speak, over by where I feed my cats so that I can see who all is eating the food at nighttime. And I think that that'll be an easy way for us to kind of see how it works, how it notifies me, and things like that. Starting off strong, I ordered this from Amazon. I will leave a link in the description of this video. I found out about this one from Crafty Traveler here on YouTube, and she had been showing some of the photos that she had taken from her trail cam, and so I thought that could be really fun. We're gonna see what's inside. First and foremost, this is the XTU SV32YW Wi-Fi hunting camera. This is the user manual. It comes in several different languages. Oh great, there's actually pictures, QR codes, and then also text, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to figure out how to use this. We'll reference this in just a few moments. Inside the box itself, we have the camera, which is pretty lightweight. It's just a camouflage looking camera. It has a box type style to it, so it looks like it's going to be moisture resistant, so that's good. We'll look at this again in a moment. And then inside here, we have a few different pieces. It looks like I have to actually get that part out. And there is a strapping device to strap it to a tree or to other things in the great outdoors. And the thing that was on the bottom is actually this mounting plate. So I may or may not use some of these items, but I will keep them so that I can set them up in my yard should I decide to use this more so at base camp if it doesn't work for what I'm trying to do on the road. Now I do know that I'm gonna have to get some batteries for this because it does take batteries. This is what it looks like. You can see it has some pretty interesting little features here. I'm very curious to see how this works whenever we actually get it out. It pops open, and this is where our batteries will go in this section right here. And so I'm gonna find some rechargeable batteries because I don't like to just burn through batteries. I have had items in the past that have taken batteries in my van, and I just end up throwing so many batteries away. So I'm gonna try to see what kind of rechargeable batteries I can find. But while I'm at my base camp, I'm just gonna go ahead and use some batteries that I already have here until I can figure out which rechargeable batteries would be best. Going in and out of different kinds of temperatures, sometimes rechargeable batteries get a little bit weird. So I want to make sure that whatever I do, it works well. I'm just kind of opening and closing. It looks as though we have this little menu here. to work with on this side. I will have to find some batteries to be able to get a full readout on that because it doesn't even turn on without that. Also, it does come with a disc inside it already. I didn't know if it was going to have like a little card or not, or if I would have to add one. It does have it already in there. It's kind of wedged up in there. So that's awesome. I don't have to provide my own. I did have a backup just in case, but that's the basics of this guy. It's just very easy, plug and play with the batteries, and then it'll turn on. So I'm gonna seek out some batteries. We'll figure this out, and then afterwards, we'll see how we need to get it set up so that we can actually use it tonight. Picked up some batteries from our battery bundle that we have. So I'm just going to use some Duracells and make sure that I have these in here correctly. So there's 8 that are required altogether, and they're pretty snug fit with AA's, but that's kind of what it looks like. Okay, as soon as I was able to plug in all of the batteries, I was able to move it from the off mode, which was right here, to the test mode, which the test mode turns on the welcome screen and shows you what the camera looks like. Wow, it picks up everything. So tiny little dust particles on this little screen. It shows the temperature. It also shows the date, which I do need to set the date on here. And then it gives you some more options as well. It tells you how much battery life you have. So all of that's displayed right on the screen. There are 2 different app download areas, one for iOS and one for Android. So I'm gonna hover over this with my phone in photo mode, and then it'll direct me directly to the app. While the app is downloading, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of time to go through the book. I did notice that you can plug in to a dedicated power system using this guy right here, or you can use this to offload things that you have filmed onto your computer, or you can take the card itself out and do the same thing using a little card converter. So that's pretty neat. It also said in here that I could use an external power source with this, including a power bank, or I could use a small detachable solar panel. They do have a solar panel that they recognize as like the recommended. It has a QR in here also, so if that's something that you're interested in. I was kind of looking through anything else that might be of interest. It kind of walks you through all of the camera itself in here and what each part of the camera is. Okay, I got the app installed, and now I'm just removing all of these little covers. Now I'm going to try to attach this little tripod to the bottom of it and set it up. I'm going to just do a little test while it's bright outside. This tripod is just one that I have from my other things. That way it'll set nice and easy. It won't tip over or anything. And so I'm going to take this and put it out by the cat feeder just to kind of see what happens, see if it notifies me on my phone if it's picking up anything in front of the camera. I don't know if I've done everything correctly, but I have read through the instructions and I think I have. So we will see. If not, I will go and look up a YouTube video of how this thing works and we'll test it out differently. But I'm going to leave it out there for about an hour just to kind of see what happens. It's also very hot today, so I'm going to see how this does in the heat. It is good for 30 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. So that is approximately 158 degrees. So overall, this should work and it shouldn't be a problem. Now, where I'm putting it, it is going to be in a shaded area, so I'm not going to have full sun on it, so that's going to help a lot. It's about 89 degrees outside as of where I'm going to put it. So 89 degrees in that area, plus it's humid, so it's got to feel like of like 92. But if it's not in the direct sun, that means it's not going to bake it out. So far it looks like it's working. I was able to capture some really fun like footage of the cats just eating. So far so good. Because they were just constantly in front of it, I don't know that the motion detector portion's working yet, so I'm going to do some more research to make sure I have all that set up correctly. Because this evening I'm going to see if I can capture something else eating on the cat's feeder. This is a new cat feeder. I haven't talked about it on my tiny home channel or anything. My dad made it. It's a gravity fed cat feeder so that if we're away from the house they still have food. But so far it's working for the camera and that's been really cool. So I gotta do a little bit more research while they're out there just grazing around, and then I'm going to try to see what we can capture tonight with the night vision. Okay, everything looks like it's working really well. The quality during the daytime is really, really good. It has 3 or 4 different modes, and with each mode, of course, the size of the format's going to be larger. However, I chose a very high quality, high resolution, just so I could have that. I know at nighttime, whenever it goes into night vision, it's going to look a little different. Okay, the camera itself is not hot to the touch, even though it's been out here for a while. Everything looks good. The tripod worked super, super well and kept it from getting tipped over, even though one of the cats kind of body checked it a little bit. So overall, that part's good. The one thing I will say is that by using it in like live stream Wi-Fi mode, it burned up about 20% of the batteries, like very quickly. So that is something to note. Again, this is what it looks like on the inside. You can see it has that little screen, the batteries, and then where the cord goes in versus where you can turn it on, off into test mode. And I did learn that this will actually take up to a 256 card. So I may end up changing this out because it's only 64. So that could be helpful for keeping it going a little bit more and recording more things without having to do a photo dump over. So I think what I'm going to do is take this inside, learn a little bit more, and then whenever it gets darker, we will see what happens next. Okay, I currently have the trail cam plugged in to my laptop, and here you can see the footage that it captured, not counting the little special clips that I did individually. So like I did a few clips on my own, but these were the ones that were all picked up by the motion sensor portion. And so this is what it looked like on those. So I could not only like film directly from the app, but I could also go back in and review anything that had motion. So that's pretty cool. Even like some of these where I'm like walking across my yard, it was like picking up on the motion of that. So that is really neat. So these are not the clips that I personally filmed using the app. This is just what it captured on its own. And that's actually a pretty good one of Sprocket there. Oh my goodness, hey there, buddy. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to know if whenever I wasn't logged into the app, physically monitoring it, if it was doing what it's supposed to, and it did. So I think this is gonna be a big win. Tonight, it's going to take itself and adjust itself into night mode when there's an absence of light. So I went ahead and I just deleted everything that was on the card and got it all set up. I need to pull the cord from it. I'm going to latch it up. And then this evening, I'll go outside, set this back up in the yard, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm currently downloading all the footage from last night, and let me just say, the batteries on this thing are so dead because of all the activity that was happening. We knew that there was possibly something that was stealing the food. However, we had no idea. I look really tired, but to catch everybody up to speed. Now, long story short, we have this feeder outside for the cats because we feed these feral cats. They make sure we don't have any mice or snakes by sticking around, and we make sure that they are okay because it's so brutal here in Texas, either in the cold, cold, cold winters or the super, super hot summers. Think of it as glorified barn cats. There's no spay or neuter program nearby. We have looked, so please don't suggest that. That's just kind of what it is. We try to be decent humans and extend decency toward others when it comes to animals and nature in general. So with this, my parents were going to be traveling, so my dad built an on-demand feeder, basically. That's a gravity-fed feeder. It's really cool. It works out super, super well, and it allows us to all be able to do what we need to do while they can passively also be fine. But with that, it's a little different than when you scoop out the food and then they eat it. There's food there, and there's no way really to turn it off. So we thought possibly after we got back, there was a substantial amount of food left, and then the next day it was like gone. And we were like, that's kind of weird. There was a little bit extra food there. So I had thoughts that maybe there was possibly a critter coming over to eat. My parents did as well. So setting up this guy right here was very insightful. So we can kind of see, okay, not only, okay, this is who's coming up, this is how many times they come up, this is the fact that the wildlife are all friends. Yeah, that also happened. So we were able to see what's going on. So it appears that we have at least 2 raccoons, 1 possum, maybe 2 possums, and the cats are friends with all of them. So it is what it is. So we're gonna have to look into different feeding methods for them potentially so that we can shun that away, because you're not supposed to feed wildlife, and we don't advocate for that, but like this is an outside feeder for the cat. So it's kind of like a slippery slope of like, it works well for them, we just don't need their neighbors. Does that make sense? I was also able to capture a very small scorpion, just scary. Fortunately, I did not catch any Mr. Nope ropes or any kind of things like that. So that made me happy, and I didn't have a random person walk through, which would have probably terrified me. Very insightful. Will I be taking this with me? Yes. Do I now need to find rechargeable batteries? also yes, because now that I know that it's going to work, I'll invest in some good ones, because I burned through an entire set of 8 batteries in a single night just because there was so much animal activity. So there's the pros, there's the cons. I'm happy about this. I think it's going to be super awesome. I don't know how this is going to look on the road, but I do know that this little tripod thing is coming with me for sure. So I'm going to finish off my coffee this morning. I'm going to watch some more critters. And if you're interested in seeing everything that I caught on the camera, then go check out my nature channel. I have a full nature channel where I just put random videos of nature on there. I think this is a good one for that because it's just nature for like a long time, being devious, because why not? Link in the description below. Remember, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Bye.